Representative Ball is one of the few people that actually has a conscience and that understands that from mistakes. You know, he's a man of integrity, and he's standing up for what's right. He is not like everyone else that falls in line.
In that
Okay,
party.
and he's not like everyone else on the other side that just falls in line. He's an independent thinker, and he's going to say whatever he believes in his heart. And so I agree with Representative Ball that we want to pick and choose what speech is free and which ones are not. This speech is costing us because they're getting ready to erase history, all history, and control the content and what's being taught. That's going to confuse our educators. It also is going to impact our AP courses. A lot of times in AP courses, you're teaching both sides and both concepts, as Representative Moore mentioned earlier, and then at the collegiate level. For the sponsor to say that the collegiate level is okay with the bill and now, that's not true. They're still against this particular piece of legislation because it impacts academic freedom.
And the other thing you need to remember is what he said. Conform speech and oppressed speech brings about conformity. And transformative speech is the one that allows all to be heard. And we all weren't heard today. That was the problem. You know, if they really want to hear everything, then we could have a conversation. But when you are cutting us off, when you are not allowing the people that some of us had amendments that could have made the bill even better.
Yes.
But those amendments were cut off simply because they did not want to hear the speech. So it's oppressed speech when you are cutting us off. We were oppressed today, so we are to conform, but I tell you right now, it makes me want to get out there and begin to really let them know, you can't conform me. I'm going to stand up, I'm going to speak out, and we're going to make a difference, make our voices heard in this state.
It was ironic that while this debate was going on, upstairs in the gallery was a few classes, if I'm not mistaken, of some children, fourth graders. Mr. Daniels, even Mark, that your daughter was here this week. They heard that. How do you go from being a legislator to talking to your constituents, even some children, about what's going on here today, and do you think that this is going to reverb through the state immediately?
I think as long as the media and you guys, it's your responsibility as well as ours to educate the public on what just happened and the significance of it long term. Because it may not be you today in your organization, but it will be tomorrow. And so let's make certain that we are taking care of fighting for individuals to be able to talk history and both sides of history. And not just sugarcoat it to where you talk about the good, but you don't talk about the bad. And so it's talking about all aspects of history that make us better for it long term. And so my expectation is that you guys do your due diligence to make certain that we're educating the public on that. But for young people in many households across the state of Alabama that probably never know what just happened, our job and our responsibility is, even within our own homes and in our community, is to educate our young people and our families on all aspects of history. And so that maybe it may be suppressed and being taught in our public schools right now, but we can teach it in our households.
And understand you cannot erase history, and that's what they're trying to do here today.
During debate today, one member asked the sponsor about the middle passage.
I did.
And it sounded like he struggled to define it, couldn't define
Well,
it. Does that show that
He didn't struggle.
he didn't know?
He couldn't. He didn't know. How can you ever bring a bill such as this and not understand the history of racism in this country?
Dr. Boyd, you were able to get an amendment on the bill. What effect do you think your amendment will have on that?
That's an excellent question. As I stated, you never know what's actually in one's heart, who sit on that floor and who is not politically correct, who want to be. Also, one thing you must remember, this is an election year. But God Almighty up there, to answer your question, when He moves in some of our hearts, and that's the basis, even of what we've been taught, in the younger years. Some of us are able to rise above it, and some of us are not. But my final answer would be to you in the words really of that serenity prayer I did. I believe it is that God give us, all of us out there, the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to stand tall, and realize what is within us and to know the difference. And may God bless us all as we continue our fight in the Alabama House of Representatives.
Thank you all.